are you? I hope you're well. So, today I want to talk about curiosity. I'm not sure if I've mentioned it in my previous video, but I have to have mentioned it somewhere. Curiosity. So, have you ever just been in that situation where you're asking a lot of questions? Why am I the way I am? Why do people do things the way they do? You know, asking and never having the answers. That is curiosity in itself, and it's a blessing, by the way, because I never killed it. I kept being curious until I got the answers that I was looking for. Well, in a sense, I'm not saying I got every answer to every question. Probably I don't even remember some questions I used to ask, but it's the curiosity of me wanting to know why things happen the way they do that kept me going. So, random question like, why do people behave the way they do? Why do people get married? That's a very random, relatable question. What's the point of it? You know, I used to ask those questions and never getting an answer. And even when I seeked from our elders, you know, people who are above us in age, of course, wishing or wanting to get the answers, somehow they also didn't know, and that made me furious because I'm having a question here, okay? I'm a child. You know, I've been curious since I was a very small girl. So I am a child. I'm going to a grown-up person seeking an answer to a question that I have, and they tell you they don't know. I was getting furious because why don't you know? Is it that you've never asked yourself, or am I just, I don't know, asking too many questions? But anyways, I was furious, and I think the wanting to know answers of these many questions that I had kept me going, kept me wanting to know more. And so finally, eventually, I think that's how I kind of developed a relationship with God. I like to think it that way. Of course, I've had encounters with Him, more encounters, but a relationship is a composition of many encounters, right? So one of these encounters was me asking questions. So I went to Him and I was like, why do things happen the way they do? And you know, God being God, God doing things in His way, I started learning now differently. I started kind of getting the answers, or a way of finding the answers to the questions that I had. Any question you think about it, like for instance, the question of people come from the same families, right? Siblings, but you see, one is doing so good for themselves, but the other one is just, life is just, it's just there. You're like, what is happening? They came from the same family. That's a very random question, right? But you seek an answer, because if you're from the same parents, I expect a balance somehow. And you find one is doing good, the other one is. So these questions I kept, and I was a very young child, like very young, asking and observing these things, okay? So I go to God, and like that question, for instance, I learned that people are just people, they're different. It doesn't mean because you came from the same family, it doesn't mean because your brother is successful, your sister is doing good for themselves, that it's gonna come to you like it's being transmitted through an osmosis process or something. I came to understand that people make their own choices. I was a small girl wanting an answer, and I got it. People make their own choices. How? You choose the life that you have, because for some reason I became that girl in my family who did not just want to settle with what has been in the life before, and for the family of siblings that have been there before, right? I wanted different. I wanted to find different, okay? So I didn't settle. I kept finding more. I kept choosing to want to know. I didn't stop. I didn't settle. And so if this is you today, you feel like the life that you're living, there is more to it than what there is, right? You feel like there is a life that looks much different from what you're currently experiencing. That curiosity, keep it alive. Keep it alive, because it will lead you somewhere. You will want to know what else is there, because there is. If you picture there is a different life out there for you, then it's because there is. It's because it exists. But you have to keep going. Don't give up. It's easy to give up. I know that. I know that, because let me give you a story. In 2024, I wrote a vision board for the first time ever. I used to just say, yeah, vision board, but 2025 actually did it. And I was still living with my parents. So one of it was moving to my own apartment, among many others. And I kept visioning myself making the move. But I also involved God. I said, you know where I'm going to go. You know where I'm going to live. I knew what I wanted, the specifications of the house I wanted. And I submitted it to him. I was like, make it happen when you make it happen, okay? And I continued my life normally. And then I forgot, well, not forgetting, but I kept it alive in my mind that I'm gonna move and it's going to happen. So 2024 happened, it did not happen that year. So 2025 came, I still kept the vision board. And I knew this is the time, it's going to happen now. And so I waited, right? I waited, and still it did not happen when I expected it. Of course, when 2025 began, the first month, that's when I was expecting it to happen, but it didn't happen. It finally happened towards the end of 2025, actually December. But in 2025, that first period of the year, I expected it to happen. And then towards mid the year, do we call it mid? Well, towards the middle point, the middle part of the year, the doubts started creeping in. Is it going to happen? Do you believe it's going to happen? Or you just move wherever? Or you just, I started. And then people had told, like, my family, I'm moving. They're like, when are you moving? You're saying you're moving, but when is it happening? Now they're putting their doubts, and my doubts are also growing, kind of, because I'm thinking, is it going to happen? Okay, so yeah, I know it's easy to give up sometimes. I could have given up at that point, but I said, you know what, I'll keep going. I'd rather say one day, even if it didn't happen the way I expected, I kept going, rather than saying, what if I kept going? What would I have? What if is just not the language here. We don't want to regret things. We don't want to say, what if? We do it, surrender it, and then wait for whatever outcome. We are not attached to it. However it happens, we wait. Eventually I moved, but I could have given up. It was easy to give up at some point, but I kept going. The doubts started being more loud. You started listening to the people who felt like whatever it is you want is a bit much. You started questioning yourself. Maybe I want too much, or maybe should I just. I was going through those moments. I'm not even gonna lie to you. They were there. All right, I want too much. Is it too much? And it's like somehow life pushes you so hard. It's almost like begging you to just give up. I felt like that. I felt like life was actually begging me to give up, because things were just getting heavy and heavy, and I'm like, what is happening right now? What the F is happening, right? I would have given up, but I didn't. I kept going. And yeah, I was curious, like, I want more. It exists, right? Right? Yes, I kept telling myself that. And so I kept finding more. I could have given up. I could have said, maybe I'm dreaming too high. Maybe it's too much. But I kept going. So I'm here to tell you, just keep going. It's out there. It exists. But what happens in this time period of you waiting and you expecting, it's also very important. Keep it to yourself, number one. That helps you to keep the right mindset about it. to keep the right mindset about this change, this move, this career, this. Keep it to yourself, because you're always going to remain in the positivity of it. You're not going to start carrying the doubts of other people and other people's projections onto your goals. So keep it to yourself. Don't share with anyone, just keep it to yourself. That's one thing I did. And anytime I thought about sharing, I would just keep quiet about it. Keep it to yourself. It's more able to happen faster if it's just with you, because once it's out there and people start asking questions, you'll start feeling like, yes, you might start changing how you think about it. You might start inviting the negative thoughts, and that's what we are avoiding. So keep it to yourself. Number 2, be steady. Don't try to be wavy, don't be jellyfishy. Be steady. Make a firm decision. Don't change. I don't care how hard it becomes along the way, but don't change. Don't try to be like, should I? Stop second guessing. The time you decided, this is what I want, keep it that way. There's a reason as to why it is the way you decided, the way it is. So don't try to change thinking, oh, maybe it's too much. No, it's not. For who? Too much for who? Don't change it. So be very steady and do not change it. Keep it the way it is, because once that's also allowing doubts and negativity. And then number 3, wait patiently. No matter how long it takes, I know. And that's why I said it's very easy to give up, because I was there. You're waiting, you feel like this is the only thing I want, right? The only thing that I want. And then it's the only thing that you do not have. I want this, I want to move. I feel like if I move, I'm going to be able to do A, B, C, D, but somehow, moving, it's not happening. So you have to wait patiently. I know it seems hard sometimes. Not sometimes, it's actually very hard. But you have to remember, in the Bible, I think Romans 8:25, it says, but when we wait for what we cannot see, we wait for it patiently. There's a reason for that. Wait for it patiently. Because when it comes for the glory of God. You'll feel it, you'll know it. It will be more valuable, it will be more worthy than just when you forced your outcome. You forced the outcome yourself. It will be more worth it when you wait on God, because then it comes with His glory. So you wait and you wait patiently. It's coming. I know it might take so long. Mine took 2 years or more even. But I kept waiting. And as I said, I could have given up along the way. Somewhere. I could have just been like, I don't think it's happening. Let me just find something. I could have done that. But somehow life kept me there. Kept me wanting to move. There's a reason why there's a reason why I kept believing that I need to move for certain things to happen. Because I had to keep that goal up here in my mind. It had to stay up here. And I understand it now more, because I finally moved, and it made a lot of sense when I moved. And this is what I wanted. In my heart, I'm satisfied fully. But assuming I gave up, I wouldn't even be here right now telling you guys about it, because it wouldn't have happened. I would still be like, what if? Now you will keep starting. Let me start now. Let me be serious. I know we've all been there. Let me now make this vision board and be more serious about it. Once you decide this is what I want, stick to it, be steady, and keep your eyes on it. Don't be swayed to the left or to the right. Just keep your eyes before you. Focus. Don't shift. Once you start shifting, you start making that go wavy. So even the blesser is like, are you sure they want this? Because they keep changing their mind. One time it's this, the next is, just decide, be still and calm, and submit it to God and leave it. We started talking about curiosity. I don't know how we ended up about vision board, but yeah, it makes a lot of sense, because it's my curiosity of wanting this to happen, asking questions, questioning everything that brought me where I'm at today. You know what I mean? I gave you that vision story because I also didn't know if it was going to happen, if I'm being honest, but I waited. It took 2 years, maybe for you it may take 2 months, or whatever it is that you want to see, but it is in the waiting that a lot happens. You see all those curiosity, yeah, that curiosity you have, the questioning that I had. Oh yes, that's what I was saying about curiosity. The questioning that I had in these 2 years. Is it going to happen? Am I dreaming too big? Is it? I've learned so much about patience, resilience, and just being steady in just that period of waiting. Assuming I moved immediately as I was envisioning myself, I wouldn't have these lessons right now. In that delay is when I learned what I learned. I learned that you can wait and wait patiently and it will happen eventually. Okay? And you will feel like giving up. It's a human feeling. You'll feel like giving up more than once. And I remember I felt it. My goodness, I did. But here I'm at today because I didn't give up. So yeah, you will learn whatever it is that you want. It happens eventually, but you have to be in alignment, sort of. And you learn all this in the waiting. In the waiting is when you learn. In that silence, when you're like, is God even hearing me? Am I praying too much? It's in that you actually get your answer. So yeah, that's my message today. I hope it blesses you. I hope it makes you feel lighter about that thing you're waiting for. I hope it gives you more hope that it's on the way and that you should just keep going. Don't stop. Stop when you see it. Stop when it happens. But until then, we keep going. Have a blessed day. I'll talk to you very soon.